Welcome to Road to Billions podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your host, Moise Bertrand, man. I'm grateful for you guys listening on the podcast. I finally got my mic up and running again, man. I've been recording my actual podcast from my memos on my phone, my voice messages, just a lot of things just to try to get it by because I know you guys need the information, and I love giving information out. It shouldn't be held. But last episode I had my frat brother, my line brother, my good friend, Armani Humber. Make sure you guys check out that podcast. A lot of gems was dropped, and just moving forward in life, man. I just want you guys to always follow up on the past episodes I did because someone's always looking for information. Like if I know something, I'm not going to hog it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about it. And evidently, I'm just going to give you guys some free gems today. This is going to be a bonus episode, man, but I really want to give you guys just some gems, just some gems on just like moving forward in life, what ways you can actually, acquire the skills you're looking for, let alone networking, but being yourself. So this podcast episode is being a 360 person. And what I mean by that is when I became an entrepreneur, I never knew answers to things. And that's why I was so intrigued with entrepreneurship because you literally have to figure shit out. Like a lot of people call themselves entrepreneur, but you have to go, if you have a job, you're not an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want nobody to feel discredited, but I also take very much offense when somebody say I'm an entrepreneur and then they go to their 9 to 5 right after. No, I do this shit 365, 24/7, like real deal spill. Ask anybody about me. So I really take notice in that, and I take pride in that, knowing that I'm very much a strategic person. I always put planning together, and a lot of my friends could say that. So as a business development coach, I'm always putting together business for people and marketing as well. I very much know how to break down strategies and details and help, like Armani was saying last episode, if you guys check that out, web design. We have very much skills, very similar skills, but he's just an overall person that's just touching every basis. I'm just a person who just like, as a Virgo, we like to pay attention on fine detail, perfect it, move on to the next craft. So everybody's different in each way, but business development is pretty much business development and marketing is pretty much my two bread and butters, and real estate is just what I do on the side. But so when I got into entrepreneurship, it's not something that someone teaches you. I know it's kind of cliche. You go to school for entrepreneurship. How the fuck am I going to go to school for something that teaches you how not to get a job? And it doesn't make sense. You can't teach me about something that I have to experience. And entrepreneurship is nothing but experience, because when I look back at how far I came and how far I am now, I could correlate the two differences, be like, listen, I didn't know this in the beginning. I didn't know how to do an LLC. I didn't know what an EIN number was. I didn't know how to do articles of organization. I didn't know how to do all this stuff. But now when I kept making mistakes, oh man, talking to people, learning, conversating, networking, I just started building that rapport around my knowledge about business, the foundations of business. And, I'm not against schooling. I'm never against schooling. I feel like STEM majors are the only people who should go to schooling. And, psychology members, people who want to go into psychology, majors. So I feel like the reason why is because those are dealing with health and mental. Everything else you can literally learn from the book. I feel like school is forever going to be a part of our history and our system. But some people don't go to school. Some people don't want to go to school. Some people feel like school is a waste of time. Me, on the other hand, I feel like school was kind of, if I didn't join a frat, if I didn't really be the person I already was before I got to school, I could just say I wouldn't be on this mic talking to you guys. You guys would have never had heard me. You guys would never have seen me. Nothing. You guys would have been like, who? Like, I don't even know you, bro. Like, to be real. But I made efforts and I made, swivels and, dodge hurdles and obstacles in order to get where I'm at now. And I take pride in every last bit of that. So that shout out to entrepreneurs out there and everybody who's doing anything. Business owners as well. Shout out to you, man. I'm not trying to take away. Like I said, I'm a very much transparent person. I just feel like when I stand on 10, I stand on it, for sure. Shout out to folks in Atlanta who got me talking like Atlanta a little bit. But, 360 person, man. And I'm going to tell you guys, I've never been a person who's been social. Now I'm starting to talk to the podcast. Now I'm starting to go around. Every person I go around, I talk to, I meet them, I speak, I say hello. I've never been that type of person, to be real. And I want to shout out, a few of my good friends, Dexter, Mac as well. And Adrian Fine, shout out to him. Who else? It's a man. It's a lot of people. I don't want to have no one feel left out. So if I communicate with you all the time, consider yourself a part of the circle. So I'm just speaking about those guys I'm always contact with every single minute. I'm always locking in on them. And then one thing they taught me was, bro, just be yourself. I heard one of my good friends said, bro, it don't matter. Like one of my friends was arguing over a picture he wanted to post, and Mac was like, bro, it doesn't matter. Like post a picture. Like if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I feel like social media made everybody feel like they supposed to prove themselves, when the reality is everybody competing with themselves unapologetically, saying who could get the more likes or who could get the more engagement or who could get the most flyer fit. And for those that it don't pertain to, think about why Instagram made a whole psychology around hiding like counts. It made people feel insecure. 62 likes, man. I'm not going to lie to you. You got 62 likes on your photo. I'm not a big person on likes and everything, but 62 likes on your photo, man, you need to hang it up a little bit. But you see where we're going at? Where I'm going at with this is like, why based life on likes? Why do everybody have to agree with your decision in order to be validated? And, I had to really get out that area of thinking. I just say, fuck it. I'm really just out there jumping off the porch, doing what I want to do because I know my faith is based in God and not man. So when I do things for the betterment of, putting people on or giving people knowledge and never taking credit for it, I don't take credit for none of the things I do. You can ask anybody. Like when I do something in life, I never say, put my name on it. Tell people I did it. No, I don't do that. Like if you tell people, you tell people. If you don't, you don't. It don't matter. But I do feel like the respect is given when you do shout somebody out. Just to let them know, hey, listen, when they let you know, hey, listen, Big bro Mo, he came through, he put me on, and he ain't had to do that. Like I don't have to do that. So when people put me on, when people put me in the door, I look at it like a stepping stone, like a ladder. Let me throw it down to my brothers, my friends, my family, because a lot of people don't look at life like that. And being a 360 person, you have to constantly be able to be a servitude to others, and you have to be able to provide value. Not only that, provide boundaries, because people are going to look up at you, and you're going to look up to other people. And what happens is most people get confused in the middle, like, who am I supposed to be? You're supposed to be the boss, ain't supposed to be a mentee. So when you're looking at, and I don't like, let me reverb that. Let me switch that back up. I don't like the word boss because 21 Savage, shout out to him, Saint Laurent Don, Red Ops, but he pretty much said a boss is someone who doesn't see a future for their worker. And I had to really think about that, and I really thought about it. And he also went to the tale of saying a leader is someone who provides the stepping stone and pathway for others. So in order for them to come up in life, they have to follow you. But then eventually, you guys will meet on the same road, and they'll be able to do their own thing. And I really thought about that. I'm like, do I want to be a boss, or does it sound good? Do I want to be a leader, and that sounds better? And I feel like a lot of people are calling me a leader and opposed to a boss because I don't employ nobody. If anything, I tell all of my friends and everybody, get your own LLC. Let's do partnerships together. Let's work it on. Oh, you don't know the partnership? Okay, cool. It's when you get your LLC and I get my LLC, and we go on a contract together, and it's called a limited liability partnership. And we pretty much are working together on a deal that we're both going to, of course, equities bust down or percentages is here and there, and we're all getting a little piece of the pie, working together, but still keeping our own, And that's why I try to preach to everybody on this podcast, like, you're going to have a very well job. Like, I've been offered 6-figure jobs in my life, like plenty of times, still getting offers, And sometimes I think about it, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, man, like, people be like, why are you turning these jobs down? Because I feel like the way I am as a person, I feel like if I really can't put 100% into something I love, I'm not meant doing it. And I don't want that to jeopardize my relationships with other people. So when people are like, hey, can you do websites? Yeah. Okay. What else can you do? Google Ads. What else? Google Analytics. What else? Instagram. What else? Marketing strategy. What else? And then I'm giving them the plethora of things. And when they're trying to offer me something I don't do, like somebody was trying to make me do business analytics tags. Is this like another thing for like Google Analytics, right? But the person was giving me more of a job task to see if I could do it, and I told them no, I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. But instead of me being a nagger, I went and told that person, but if you want to learn, because I can't really do this, but I could do everything else I listed above, go to this website. Go to Coursera.com, you guys. You know how I'm giving you guys gems? Like, people don't give you guys gems like this. I'm a real solid dude. So I'm giving you guys gems because I don't want you guys to listen to this podcast and not take any value for it. Like I see my streams go up every day. Like every hour I refresh it literally, and I'm like, oh shit, it went up a stream. Like I wonder who's listening to me on their phone, in their car, in their headphones. So I appreciate you guys. But CourseArrow.com, like a lot of people, like, how did you get into entrepreneurship? And in order to be an entrepreneur and a business owner, a very savvy and very just knowledgeable person, you have to continuously listening, reading, and studying knowledge that others have out there for you. So I read books, I read psychology books, I read articles online, and I lock in with people. So being a 360 person, you guys, is just being 1% better. And I try to say 360, but when it really could be 365, percent. But 360 is just saying 1% better every day. If you could do 1% of something that you didn't do yesterday, better. If you didn't go to the gym today, but you went to the gym tomorrow and you did 10 push-ups, and then the next day you did 20 push-ups, and the next day you did 30. Now you're gradually increasing your retainment fee. I said retainment fee. Goddamn, I'm listening to freaking. I got so much real estate. Now you're building up, your whole body and physique, and you're literally you're conditioning your body to continue to push itself no matter what the circumstances are. And that's one of the biggest things I had to face with entrepreneurship. Like I didn't want to be in the same person. I'm not the same person I was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago. And I could tell you that, and you guys could hear that if you listen to my very first podcast, you guys. I promise to you guys. I'm talking out my ass. Like I'm just talking so fast. But in this podcast now, I'm listening. I'm taking deep breaths. I'm talking at a pace where, I still have a little bit of, speed to me. But it's not like the earlier podcast. I listen now more to people. I give people my honest opinion, but I still keep it proactive. How to win friends and influence people. It tells you the very most thing you should do to everybody is listen. The second thing you should do is compliment. The third thing you should do is suggest. So when you do these things and you suggest something after you compliment the person's going to be more susceptible to work with you. And that's one of the biggest things with entrepreneurship. You don't want people to feel like you're the smartest. You don't want people to feel like you're perfect. You don't want people to feel like they can't relate to you. I have to relate to you in some way in order to work with you and get business with you and lock in with you. And people relate to me because I keep it real. Like I tell people all the time. I didn't come from a rich family. I didn't come with a Bugatti in my freaking front yard. I didn't grow up with the luxury of just having things other people have. It was so bad to the point where I used to lie on Christmas and say, yeah, I got Christmas gifts, but I didn't really get shit, but I'm looking at life like a different perspective. Like I don't have to keep that going. I could always create my own reality for my own future self, for my own future family. And that's the way life is set up. But when you look at where you come from and where you at now, you have to give grace and thanks. You have to, because a lot of people, they get big-headed, and I heard somebody tell me in my DM, man, and I was like, wow, man, I didn't know you felt like that. Some dude hit me up and was like, man, you changed. Said some other vulgar things, but I didn't pay no mind to it. I'm a P. We don't talk about things. But yeah, man, you changed, man. The money changed you. I said, okay, well, first off, where's the money? No, let me stop. But I was just like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Like, you asked me for a favor and I delivered it. Now I'm not at your reach. Now I changed. Now it's, oh, you're different. But why work hard just to say the same? Like, why would I work my ass off to go back to the same place I'm not trying to be? And a lot of people have a hard time cutting ties. A lot of people have a hard time being realistic, being transparent. Entrepreneurship, I can't waste time. I tell people all the time, I wake up every day with questions and solutions on my mind. I can't fuck off. I'm always on the brink of finding new solutions, always on the brink of, possibly going crazy. But I'm always like, well, it's entrepreneurship. I signed up for this, and I love it. It's a love and hate relationship, but I always tell myself I'm doing what others are doing. You work a job, I'm not working a job, but we live the same lifestyle. But I'm putting just 2 times, probably 3 times, 4 times more work than you. So what happens when I tell you have to be 1% better? If you're doing something 1% better than somebody else is doing, like Gucci Mane said, most people work out once or twice and then they get tired, they don't go working out no more. But if I go work out and I drink my water and I read my books and the rest of the population is still catching up to just working out and not even doing the other two I just said, well, people drinking water, but reading books, I'm doing something 1% better, and that compounds. 5 years from now, I'm gonna be far more more knowledgeable and experienced, and just more dedicated to my craft because I set myself a goal to say I'm not rushing, I'm pacing myself, and that's what a 360-degree person is. I'm all round work. I'm a well-rounded person when it comes to just knowing my goals. When it comes to just focusing on my strengths, I don't focus on my weaknesses. My weaknesses are just knowing that I can't do that shit. I'm not even gonna put no energy into that. I'd rather work with other people who can. So my strength is just knowing I know how to communicate, project management, delegation, seeing things from a bird's eye view, fine detail, strategic thinking. That's a big thing with me, man, because I play chess, and chess always teaching me just about taking your time. Like, I never loved checkers. I hated checkers. But chess, I fell in love with it. I love playing tennis because this is all games that deal with the psychology of just beating the person, not by strength, not by battle, but by energy, by psychology, by mind moves, by maneuvers, and by steps ahead. So when you look at entrepreneurship and being a 360-degree person, everything I'm telling you guys, it only matters if you apply it to yourself. Like, a lot of you guys are very much smart and very much geniuses. I call everybody who listens to this podcast a genius because, come on, bro, like, it's only geniuses going to understand each other. Like, if you guys listen to this podcast, you guys are obviously trying to better yourselves, and I appreciate you guys for even listening, because a lot of people really don't have the attention span to sit through 5 minutes, but I'm not here reading off a script. I'm not here talking to you guys out my ass. I'm not here giving you guys no type of, like, energy that isn't required of me. I'm giving you guys my full attention. I'm talking to you guys like I will talk to someone I talk to on a regular basis, because I feel like you guys are my extended family on this podcast. So I just really want you guys to don't ever give a fuck about what other people think about you. Never give a fuck. Never get a rat's ass, because at the end of the day, I shit. You don't shit what I eat. So if I shit what I eat, why does that deal with your stomach? It doesn't have to do nothing with your body, your health. So when I tell people, it's like, worry about yourself, worry about what you have going on, worry about the plans that you have set in motion, worry about the people that's working on you, worry about the things that you're supplying your energy in, because sooner or later, that's going to be the one that's take care of you. Like, I have a vision board, and I have affirmations all over my wall, and I constantly remind myself that I'm not perfect, but my personal success is unique from everybody else's. And that's one of the affirmations. Like, my personal success is unique from everybody else's, because my personal success is only unique to me. Like, a 9-to-5 has never made me feel comfortable in my lifestyle. And the reason why is because I had a hard time obeying the way sometimes managers and bosses would complain about certain things that they could do. And I'm like, a leader is somebody who would just take initiative but let others know about the work that was faulty. And I ran into a lot of people who always try to pass down work to others, when opposed to I always been a self-sufficient person. So I never needed somebody to ask me or, tell me to do something. So when I have somebody to keep bickering and telling me I need to do something by a certain time, I'm like, do you want quality or do you want quantity? So I always took the approach where I'm just want to provide a lifestyle that, it may not be comfortable. Okay, it may not be comfortable for a few years. Fuck them. Like, I don't give a fuck. But when I ball for real, I'm a ball forever. And that's the way I tell everybody who wants to be a business owner, entrepreneur, small business owner, big Fortune 500 owner. Think about the things from your point of view. I tell people all the time, like, I'm not against the people working up the corporate ladder and try to get to the CEO position. I'm just saying, why waste time doing that if you could do something that's going to better your kids and your community, because you can't pass that CEO title to your kids when you get 60 years old on your deathbed. Oh, please give him the CEO. Son, ma'am, your son don't even know how to read financial paperwork. Why would we give him a company that's worth $50 billion and you're the only person who know how to do it? Now we have somebody else who has to come and take your position. You bust your ass your whole life. Oh, man, we're just going to take care of you. Your 401k here. Nothing's on your kid's name. It's just you. What if you aren't knowledgeable about what to do with that money? What if you don't know what to do and you're on your deathbed and your kids aren't around and your kids don't know what's going on? Like, what happens? But if I had, of course, property, if I had businesses, I could pass that down to my kids. I could control that. I could literally see what's going on. I could literally control the operations of the business, and I dictate where the business is going next. And I'm still not, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. I have one. There's nothing wrong with that. You always need something to keep coming in, like regardless. Like I have days where I want to have a 9 to 5 sometimes. I tell people all the time, like some days I'm like, what would it be like if I had a job? But I feel like sometimes God put me in positions because I have to be that person I spoke into existence. And it's not easy, you guys. But being a 360 person, each day you're going to get better. I know how to deal with situations a lot more better now than I would a year ago, 2 years ago. When I'm messed up, when my money's not right, I don't complain. I don't trip no more. You know what I do? I hit my knees and I pray to God, and I thank God for what he already done for me. And I appreciate the times where I didn't have nothing and I did have something. You know, I have my own spot. I have a lot of things going on for myself. I may not where I want to be at, but quite frankly, I'm very much grateful and comfortable where I'm at. I just know where I have to get, and I'm putting that work in every day. But you can't compare your life to someone who's doing something far more difficult to you, far more, more richer than you and making more money. You can't compare. It's the thief of joy. Like, so when I look at my life, I don't look at others to compare. I look at those who probably went through so much already in their life, but they're they still have the communist touch. You know, people could tell you, man, I was broke as hell and I'm up 100 M's. Like, I could tell you how it feels to go to sleep hungry. I could tell you that. I could tell you a lot of things about my entrepreneurship journey. I could tell you I have thousands of stories, but that's the whole life you want to live. You want to live a life that's on both ends. You don't want to live a life that you only rich and then you don't know how someone who lived on the east side of Atlanta or south side of Tallahassee or Overtown of Miami feels. Like, you don't know how that really feels to not have days where you don't know what you're about to eat next. You don't know how that feels. So in order to humble yourself and get better, you have to be able to be on the bad side of the spectrum. You don't know something until you lose it. So when I literally look at life like, what is being taken of my life, I'm looking at it like, it's not leaving me. Something's being replaced with better. So if I lose a game, in 2K, I've learned something new, because this is what happened the other day, you guys. I lost a couple games in ping pong, and I lost a couple games in 2K. But I remember this. The person I lost to, it wasn't that they were any smarter than me. These people were very patient and strategic, and they've been there before. They've been in clutch moments. So I never been in those moments where I had to really come back in the gaming industry, where I came back from a lot of other things like entrepreneurship, business, life. But what I'm trying to get to you guys is that you can't compare your success to someone who's already been doing it for longer than you, who's been plugged in, who's been already around those people. You can't. If you're starting from nothing, take that as a grain of salt and be like, okay, I'm independent right now, but sooner or later I'm going to have a team of people around me who are going to be pushing that work for me, pushing my business for me, pushing the P for me, like really putting themselves out there for me, because I put myself out there for me in the beginning. So once you have that type of dignity and 1% mentality every day, your life is going to make a 360-degree turn. It's like impossible to be the same person you are if you're continuously working on yourself each and every day. It's impossible. I never liked to read, but then I started reading 2-3 pages a day. Then I'm like, oh shit, I'm reading books. I'm flying through books. Like, I'm really flying through books. So like, what I'm telling you guys, like, be mindful, be grateful, continuously always chase your dreams. Like, it doesn't matter if you aren't a millionaire, aren't 100,000 there, aren't nothing. You have to just know that faith is going to take you far more than what a degree is going to tell you to take you. Anything someone tells you, faith is what moves mountains. If you don't believe you can move mountains, you don't have faith. So I just feel like if I look at a mountain so long and I believe I'm gonna move it, maybe somebody else may not see it, but that mountain's gonna move 2-3 inches. I'm like, oh shit, that mountain just moved. I moved it. So, like I said, you guys, I appreciate you guys for listening to Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey. Continuously to always know that 360 is just the word that you want to use for the year, but 365 is really how many days there is. But essentially, use 360 to say a whole 360 turning point in your life. If you went from rags to riches, that's a blessing. If you went from a student to a teacher, that's a blessing. If you went from, like I said, a driver to the owner, you're making strides that people are continuously looking for in life. And life is not about a race. Life is about pacing. The marathon shall continue. So shout out to Nipsey Hussle, man. R.I.P. that young brother, man. It was real just listening to him while he was in living flesh. He gave us a lot of gems, guys. Listen to his old interviews and music. Rick Ross is still teaching wealth. We aren't listening to these guys because we want to listen to fucking blah all day. But listen, man. Listen. Take heed in these things. Dick Gregory, Dr. Sebi, Don Peebles, all these great mentors. Even Marcus Garvey, man. He had books that was written on him that that depicts his life about him really trying to change the world. So these are people. I'm not saying you have to really look into, but I'm saying these are people like you should always look at like, what made them the it factor? What made them different? What knowledge are they seeking? What was their purpose in this life? And how did they actually change their surroundings? Because most of these people tell you that the first thing in success is mind. After that, everything else follows. So if you know you're going to be successful, things will follow. And like I tell you guys, it's not easy, but you guys will make it to the top if you believe. So once again, I appreciate you guys for listening to Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey. Every day I wake up, I think about you guys. I promise I think about what I'm going to say to you guys. But sometimes I have days I don't want to talk, and that's okay, but I will always deliver a podcast or two a month or a weekend. So I appreciate you guys once again. Share, rate, review the podcast, and chase your dreams. Stay safe.